The reality is Jesus Christ himself fulfills the law. He himself abolished aspects of the law in his own lifetime. He declared all foods clean because Jesus Christ establishes a new covenant. That new covenant is not the old covenant of Israel, because the old covenant of Israel was for one nation, but the new covenant is for every nation. And so the Old Testament laws particular to Israel are not required for the rest of us.
Sorry, Bob, what would be your reference to the Bible where Jesus has made all food clean?
It says...
Is it Paul?
No. You see, you're laughing just shows your ignorance.
No. It's a genuine question, but I do believe that is the answer.
But that's total ignorance on your part.
Okay, would you mind... All right, from a serious and a less rude point,
yes.
And I apologise.
Yeah.
Can you show me the reference where Jesus makes all food clean to eat?
Yeah, sure. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah. Right. Again, just Dai lies. That's just Dai lies. Dai lie to Muslims about the Christian faith. Continually. You lie continually about the Christian faith. All the time. All the time. You lie about the Christian faith. The Dai lie about the Christian faith.
Tell us the truth.
All the time. I'm going to.
We're all men.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. You understand. You understand.
Well, no, I really want to see where he's got this quote from.
Right, bear with us. JC, just Google us where Christ declares all food clean, please.
Sorry, remind me. Who
right, I'll quote you the verse and then I'll show you the reference once he's found it. So Jesus, Matthew 15:11. Thank you very much. We're just about.
Apparently Matthew 15:11.
Right. Says Jesus called.
Is this the red letter Bible? Is this?
Yeah, but like.
Yeah, because I can see the red. This is technically quoting Jesus, right?
It just highlights Jesus's words by highlighting them red.
Go for it.
Yep. Right. Don't feed into that narrative that Muslims say, "Oh, there's lots of different Bibles." It's just a colour.
I'm not.
Just a colour.
I'm just double.
You can
this
print. Yeah, there's lots of Bibles that print this in black. Still the same words.
Yeah.
Here's what it says. So the question that Jesus was talking about is he's having a debate with the Pharisees about the traditions and the commandments, right? And Jesus says this. After Jesus called the crowd to him, he said to them, "Hear and understand, it is not what enters into the mouth that defiles the man, but it is what proceeds out of the mouth, this defiles the man." So when he says that it's not what goes into you that defiles it, he's saying that all food is clean.
That's not what he said.
That is what he said. So why? So is food? Does food defile you?
I'm trying to give us.
In Jewish, no, 1 second. In Jewish law, does pork defile you?
But could he also be talking about alcohol?
No, I want you to answer my question.
Sorry,
stop dodging it.
No, I'm not. I was too busy thinking.
Okay.
Same
in
as you.
Jewish law,
when I'm thinking of something, I can't hear
in Jewish law, are there foods that are clean and unclean, like pork?
Yes.
Right. If Jesus says that no food defiles you, what is he saying about food?
All right, read it again, sorry.
Remember the context in which Jesus is speaking. 1 second.
I want because he doesn't use the word food. It just says it's not what goes in that defiles a man, it's what comes out.
Yes.
The words that are speaking.
Does food go into you?
Of course it does.
Right. Do you take it through the mouth?
But you also take alcohol in the mouth.
Does it go through the mouth?
When you get drunk, you can say a lot of horrible things.
Does it go through the mouth?
You would be standing for, wouldn't you? If I could I have the excuse of walking through the park,
alcohol's a
being drunk,
great,
and saying a lot of racist stuff.
Great, bro. Perfect example. Alcohol's a
can I?
Bro. Exactly. Yeah, bro. You've only just made my point for me.
I'll go for it. Go on.
Alcohol. Well, let's use alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. Does alcohol defile a person?
That's a good question.
Does it? Does it? No, answer the question.
Well, no, because we don't believe we should have it. We call it haram.
I know it. And does it? Does it defile you?
That's a good question.
Right. My point to you is Jesus is saying that nothing that goes into the mouth defiles you. Yeah. So does that nothing include food?
But again, we're talking about Jesus.
I want you to answer my question. I want you to answer my question. It's not a parable. It's a statement.
Okay.
Jesus says nothing that goes into the mouth defiles you. Does food go into the mouth?
Yes.
If it's saying it doesn't defile you, doesn't that mean that it's clean?
No.
Go and explain how not.
Because I still think that he is referring to the language that you use and the excuses that you will have.
Language comes out of the mouth, not into the mouth.
Yep.
Let's read Jesus' words again, and I want you to address Jesus' words. Jesus says, "Hear and understand, It is not, are you listening?
Yeah.
Not what enters into the mouth that defiles the man. What is not entering into the mouth other than food and water and other liquids?
You need to get the context of that.
Yeah.
Exactly, consumables.
Really-
So if Jesus
So
is
food and
saying,
drink.
if Jesus is saying that it doesn't defile you, what is he saying about it? No, I want you to. You can laugh, but that's just another die lie.
No,
You've been
absolutely,
deceived.
absolutely.
You've just been
finding it funny
deceived.
because I think the
You
point
find it
of
funny
this,
because of the die jokes.
it's look, listen.
What?
And
Can
Dai
I- can I-
culture.
can I ask you, do you know Dai is here? Do you know? First time I met you, do you know any Dai?
Yeah, they run away. He's a die.
I
He
know
runs
Dai.
away.
First time I met you, I don't know anybody
Yeah.
who's here.
Go on.
Trying to say.
Look, look. I don't think that Jesus is necessary. Look, from an Islamic point of view.
We're not talking about Islam. We're talking about what the New Testament
I'll
says.
come back to it, I promise.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're
I'll
not
do what
talking.
you did
No,
earlier.
hold on one second. Hold on one second. We're not talking. You asked me a question. I've
Yeah.
shown you the verse.
It doesn't answer the
Can I-
No. So you're not just thinking. You think rationally. What goes into the mouth? Consumables.
What comes out of the mouth?
Words, thoughts, ideas. But what does Jesus?
So food won't make you say horrible things.
One second. Look.
it's saying?
Look what it says. Look. I'll tell you what it says. What he's saying is that it isn't eating pork that makes you unclean. It isn't drinking alcohol that makes you unclean. What makes you unclean is speaking
is the effect of
speaking bigotry against Christians and Jews, is speaking hatred against the kuffar, is calling for the enslavement of people in an Islamic caliphate. These are the things that make you unclean.
That's lie.
No, don't.
That's what Jesus said.
He's got to look. He's got to make his
sure,
points,
I'm
right? So
sure.
let him do his job.
But I need to ask him a question.
Wait.
All you're doing is
What?
separating your emotions from the argument.
No, 100%.
Yeah, that's all you're doing.
I do my best.
You're,
not to do it.
you're
I'm too
using
old.
you're using humour based on a Dai culture to mock the Christian faith.
No, not mocking.
So,
not mocking.
here-
Anyone who thinks I'm mocking, I apologise in
Yeah.
advance. No problem
Right.
at
So
all.
here's what I want
What
you
I'm
to.
saying to you. What I'm saying to you
No,
about
I want
this
you.
particular
Go
thing
on.
here, right?
Say it. Go
Now,
on.
this has come from Matthew 15, and it's
Chapter 11, verse 11. Verse 11.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus is clearly stating in this paragraph
Yes.
that
It's
what
not a
goes in
parable.
your mouth,
Statement.
We want to
what
be
goes
the
into
same.
your mouth
Doesn't make you.
doesn't make you say and do nasty things.
No, what it's
That's
saying.
what it's saying.
No, let's actually look at what he's saying, because what you've just said is completely wrong.
Okay, read it.
It says, "Hear and understand. It is not what enters into the mouth that defiles the man." Now, think about the context in which he is saying this. He's saying this to Jews who have a concept in the Levitical code of foods that are clean and unclean.
Which he was a Jew himself.
Exactly, right? And he's saying that those foods don't make you defiled. But what does make you defiled is the hatred that you spew from your mouth. The kind
agree.
of bigoted stuff that we hear from the Dai, who attack
I don't know these
Christians,
people.
want to reduce them to make them into dhimmis, want to have slaves, want to marry children. These Ali Dawah defended marrying a child, said he would marry his own child even though she was under the legal age. He would say she was ready. We can do a back flack. You can see it on our clip. We've got him on camera.
You asked me, would I allow my daughter to get married at 9? I'm saying the analogy is wrong because our teachings teach us the woman has to be sexually, mentally, and physically ready. That means if my daughter, if my daughter wants to menstruation, hold on, let me finish. If my daughter reached the age of menstruation, 9 years old, I would say you are ready. One second, please. You are ready to get married.
Got him on camera. Got him
let's
on
talk
camera.
about the subject.
But my
Let's
point to you is, right, is that Jesus.
Conversation is good enough for you again.
My point to you
He
is.
left us a minute ago. He's made lots of points.
Two
since then.
microphones. So my point to you is, if Jesus is saying that consumables that don't go into your mouth don't defile you, he has made a statement that declares all food clean.
Okay. I don't agree.
Okay, can I
Well,
say
you're just
something?
arguing with a text.
You have provided. Sorry, one second.
Can I say something about
You have provided your reasoning to why you accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I accept that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. But I accept that is what you're taking
That's
from.
the question. That's
Yeah.
the question. Jesus never had pork. Never.
That's right.
And
You're
they
right.
still it's okay.
I'm happy to say Jesus never ate pork.
Why can't you just follow
But
Jesus, not
saying that
Paul?
all food, right? Saying that all Jesus drank alcohol,
No, but
full stop.
he ate pork.
He drank alcohol. So why don't you be like Jesus?
Well,
So, like,
so
do you
you
see
eat
how that
pork.
argument doesn't work?
You eat pork.
Jesus
You eat
drank
pork.
wine, bro.
Where does it
Be
say
like
that?
Jesus.
Where does it
But
say
you
that?
eat
Is that the Last Supper?
Yeah, I'll show you. Do you want me to show you?
Because I know he was at a wedding party and he turned wine to.
They turned water into wine. Exactly.
That's what
So
they say.
Jesus
That's what
drank
they say.
wine.
But I know there is also a difference of opinion
I'm
that
just-
wine could also be non-alcoholic.
I'm just
back in
what
the day.
I'm trying to point out to you, bro, is that the silly Dai argument that you've probably heard. You know, we're more like Jesus than the Christians,
Why about
right?
Dai?
1 second, right, is a silly argument because Jesus drank alcohol. Muslims don't. I'm talking to you. I'm ignoring him. Jesus drank alcohol. Muslims don't drink alcohol. Jesus kept a Sabbath. Muslims don't keep a Sabbath. Jesus prayed facing Jerusalem. Muslims don't pray facing Jerusalem. Jesus prayed standing up. Muslims don't pray standing up. Again and again and again and again and again, there's lots of ways that Muslims aren't like Jesus. Pointing to ways in which Christians aren't like Jesus is a really bad argument. It works both ways. That's what I'm pointing out to you.
I would argue that we do pray standing up as well.
Jesus said, "Our Father in the
You have to, otherwise it's not
Yeah,
accepted.
Jesus called God his Father. Muslims don't call God his Father. So again and again and again, Muslims are not like Jesus. But Christians are like Jesus.
No, but are
What's
you-
your name,
are you
bro?
related to Muslim?
What's your name? Mike. Nice to meet you, Mike. I appreciate our conversation. I just want to show that Jesus drank wine, right? So Jesus had no problem with alcohol.
Also, he eat pork.
Yeah. No,
he's
Jesus
already
didn't.
said that he
Jesus
never ate.
didn't eat pork. But he didn't eat pork. Let's be clear. He didn't eat pork because he thought it was unclean. He didn't eat pork because he just didn't want to eat pork.
really?
Because it was part of his custom and his culture, and because he had to fulfill the law. And he fulfilled the law by keeping the law so that a holy God might meet a faithful
Can
Israel.
we see that?
Yeah. So
sure, right?
let me just show you where Jesus drank alcohol, just to show that Muslims are not like Jesus. Yeah.
You really have a bigotry against Muslims.
No, no, no. No, I
You
don't.
should preach
No, I
love.
really
You
don't.
should
You see,
preach
that's
love.
just another
You should-
Dai lie.
You should preach.
That's just
some
another
peace.
Dai lie.
Because you are so pissed.
No, that's
and
just
angry.
another
I
Dai
don't
lie.
understand
No, no, that's just another Dai
why. Why are you
lie.
so angry with
That's just another Dai lie.
It's not-
That's just another Dai lie.
Look, we have to be fair.
Just
He's not
another
showed-
Dai
he's not
lie.
showed any anger.
I'm not-
Even your Muslim
every
brother is
statement-
correcting you.
Every statement he says.
Every Muslim, even your Muslim brother is correcting you.
But, it's
Is-
not, but the statements he makes
How
not
can you-
necessarily for us.
Yeah.
No, he's.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't know if he's speaking to the
so-
camera,
Exactly.
but I can hear
So-
some bigotry.
You can't accept.
No,
it.
no, no,
Look,
no,
look, we
no,
chose
you
to
can't.
stand here. We can
No, you can't. All you've done there is use an ad
Angry.
hominem argument.
Angry person.
All
I
that
don't
you've
know
done,
why.
again, just
You're so
lies.
angry.
These are just
Every
lies.
time you criticize somebody.
And this is one
who's
of the
not ready.
reasons. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you, Michael. I'm done with this guy. He's
No,
just
because you
like.
remind him of his
So
guilt.
so my
He doesn't wanna
point
hear
to
it.
you is, bro. My
Really?
point to you is, bro.
Bring somebody from the DIE and talk to them, and
What time are we
you
on?
can hear that.
Okay, it's just breath.
I've got to go soon. So
Oh, did you need to know the time?
No. I saw it. So now the point is, when Muslims are defeated in the argument, they go to ad hominem. They go to wild accusations.
Once again, we see some Muslims expressing their dislike for Paul, claiming that he contradicts Jesus and strays from his teachings. But today, we witnessed an absolute masterclass in biblical truth from Bob. With clear, direct words straight from Jesus himself, Bob completely dismantled the objection. It was powerful, precise, and rooted in Scripture. As expected, the conversation took the usual turn, the familiar claim that Jesus was a Muslim. It's the same narrative often used in Dawah, but even that argument couldn't stand. Bob responded with historical context and truth, showing how that claim falls apart when you look at the real, historical person of Jesus. What are your thoughts on this conversation? Drop a comment below and don't forget to hit that like button. God bless.